So it is more reliable if you choose NTFS. So here in this screen you choose format partition using the NTFS file system quick and another is a full. So at the first time it is suggested that you make your partition full partition, not the quick, and after partition you have to format it with the NTFS full. After formatting it will start installing the copying of the file, rather we can say installing the server 2003. So it is the setup is now copying files in the newly created partition. This screen is showing that it is already 99% of the file copied. Here it is showing in the picture that which file is copying right now. This way all the files are copying and installation process is going on. At the 100% that reaches, then you will find the next screen that the partition the portion of the setup has completed successfully. If there is a floppy drive, remove it, and to restart your computer press enter. This kind of message it comes, and the red line, if you are not doing any activity, after 10 seconds your machine will be rebooted, and the first phase of the server installation, text based installation, is right now over. So after this it will reboot and again it will start with the GUI. After this you will find this screen. Now from this screen onwards you have GUI based portion of the setup program, and it will load the GUI Windows Server 2000 screen, and it will again give you information. After loading this message in a newly installed server, you have again GUI based installation. Look at the next screen. So this is the screen where it is automatically installing the Windows Server 2003, and it is also giving some of the features provided by the Windows Server 2003, and this setup process reboot and starts the GUI process. Windows Server 2003 family provides the most productive infrastructure platform for powering networks, application and web service. So Windows Server is not only for a user creation and login to the server, it also provides web services, application services, print services, file services. Different services are provided on the server, but that is also a next phase that we can talk in later on. But right now our aim is to how to install a server and how to configure a server initially for a user creation, and user can only be created if you have Active Directory installed on a server. So we are right now focusing for only these 3 points because we have also time limit. Now after that it is installing number of points. Here it is showing, I am rotating my mouse on the screen, that here already installed, collecting information, dynamic update, preparing installation, installing a Windows. So these 3 bullets is already finished, and right now this activity is going on in the GUI installation. Here it is saying that click customize to change the regional setting if necessary. So this is the window, we can change the regional setting, changing if you want to change region setting. After that you will find another window where it is asking your personalize your software name. Here you have to give the name of your machine machine as well as organization name. After this we have to press next. Then it is asking about licensing. When we install a server, on that time we need a server operating system CD that is provided by Microsoft, and Microsoft is giving that CD with the CD key, and after once you install the CD, on that time it is asking the licensing key, that is the product key. So here is a diagram for a product key, and that diagram I have here we have to enter the product key which is printed on a CD. 1 2 3 4 5, these are the 5 points that we have to enter our CD key, and right now I am not displaying the CD key because it is actually a license CD key, so nobody can view that particular. But if you have your license key, you enter the license key for server 2003. Once you click next, you will find the next window, and this is one of the important one, licensing mode, and this is a per server number of concurrent connection. Right now I have value 5, If I give 5 and install the server, then what happens? Do you have any idea? If we make it 5, so on that time my server is running and at a time 5 user can log into the system, isn't it? And later on if I want to enter the 6th user, on that time it is not possible. So you have to think before installation that how many number of concurrent user can log into the system. For example, in your computer lab 60 machines are there and 60 users you want to set logged into the server at a time, then this value should be more than or 60 or equals to 60. So you have to keep well in advance that how much concurrent connection you want to make it open. Here we have to give the computer name of computer name is the server computer name, and the administrator's password, who is the administrator for the server, that is master password. With this password all this server administration is possible. If you forget this one, then you are supposed to lose everything. Now after username password of the administrator, next screen it displays that is a date and time setting. આ જગ્યાએ આપણે ડેટ આપવાની છે, like a date and time. Our Indian time is plus 5.30, that we have to set. Then we make a next, then it is going to install a network component, that a server cannot work without a network. And if you install a server in a normal desktop machine, then we are not utilizing the services of the server. So here we have to choose either typical, automatically it is installing the drivers related to the server and doing process. Another one is the custom setting. That custom setting means you can right now install the driver, also you can identify the IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, that all value you are setting here for the server, that will be useful during your Active Directory installation time. If you don't want to install, you can simply mark as a typical setting or press next. Otherwise you choose custom setting and provide IP address and all necessary detail. So in this example I have choose custom setting, and once you press a next, it will display the next window. In that next window, setup will now install the networking components, and here it has already installed the drivers, and we have to set the TCP IP protocol IP address. And I hope you all are very much aware that TCP IP is one of the protocol dominating the entire world, and through that protocol we are setting the IP address, and our computer is uniquely known with that IP address. And here we have to set our IP address. We select this internet protocol, click on property. Once you click on property, you will find the next window like this. Here you can choose obtain IP automatically, that is a DHCP protocol, dynamic host configuration protocol. If you have set DHCP on your server, so it is automatically requesting IP address from the server. And if you want to give your specific IP address, then use the static IP address 192.168.0.203. This is a public IP address of the class C. I hope you might be aware with the class A address, class B address and class C address. So this is a public class C address, that is 192.168, that is public class C address, and default subnet mask 255.255.0, because this is C class address. So 1, 2 and 3 octets are for 111, that's why it is 255, 255, 255 and 0. So this is a network address 192.168.0.0 is a network address, and in that network 203 is our one host. So IP address is divided in two parts, network address and host address. And with the help of subnet mask, computer is automatically identifying what is a network address and what is host address. That's why we need to give the subnet mask. If you are not giving subnet mask, computer cannot identify. And the default gateway, and what is the meaning of this default gateway? Default gateway means if you have multiple server, on that time how your query will pass from your network to the another network or another site. that is known as default gateway. For example, 192.168.0.1 is a machine that all query has to pass through that machine. That is a default gateway. If you have no any gateway entry exit point, then if you are not entering this value, then also it is okay, not required. Click OK. Again you will find the same installation GUI screen. The next setup will process the finish. Copying the files and configuring the setup. You do not need to do anything. Automatically it is installing remaining necessary files in a GUI. Simply you wait, and here it is also showing your progress. It is giving number of the features provided by the server 2003. Click and you will find the next screen. After installing, again it will reboot the system and it will showing such kind of the message, Windows Server 2003. We have Server 2003 is having three variety. One is the Enterprise Edition, Standard Edition as well as Web Edition. So here this screen is showing the information about Enterprise Edition. Here we have to enter username. The first user of the operating system is the administrator that we have set during our installation time, and the remaining is the password that we have to set. Once you provide username and password and click OK, on that time you are allowed to enter into the server. Once you allowed to enter into the server, then the first physical installation, primary installation of the server 2003 is over. Then we have to check. After you logged in, you will get the first screen, manage your server. You can define adding roles to the server. We can provide the role to the server, like server can work as a file server, server can work as a database server, server can work as a application server, server can work as a print server. Different role we can assign to the one server, and the important role for one server is Active Directory, and through that Active Directory we can store number of users. So this all role we can set here. By default it is giving the screen, and you can assign after installation of the primary server 2003. Here is the start, and all major information are available through the administrative tools. Look at this, my mouse point, isn't it? This way you can install, and the primary installation of our server is over. Now our next phase of the installation is the Active Directory installation, and for that we have to go to Active Directory installation. Why Active Directory installation is required? Have you any idea? Right now we have installed a server. That server is a simple server, isn't it? It has no more capacity of other users to log into the server. It is a desktop machine. But once you install an Active Directory, and once you configure Active Directory, and in that Active Directory you add number of the user, then other user can directly log into the server. Without Active Directory it is not possible, and Active Directory stores all the information and setting for a deployment in a certain database. And the Active Directory is one kind of a database storing all user level information like username, password, its rights, policy, that are stored inside the Active Directory through the domain. So once you install Active Directory, it creates a domain name, and that is a DNS. Through DNS we store this information, and Active Directory requires DNS. So once you install Active Directory, it automatically installs the DNS also. Active Directory allows administrator to assign policies, deploy and update softwares. Active Directory is designed especially for distributed networking environment, because in a network we have number of users. One user have MCA, for I am giving example of MCA semester 1, another user is MCA semester 2, third user is MCA semester 3. Now MCA semester 1 I want to give rights for only C language, MCA semester 2 I want to give rights for a Java language, MCA semester 3 I want to give rights for a C# language. So different user have different rights, different storage capacity, different program access. That policies I want to set, that is possible through the Active Directory, and that provides the facility for managing the network environment. So Active Directory automatically manages the communication between domain controller and ensures the network remains viable, and through that Active Directory our network is more secure and viable. Now next slide shows is basics of the advanced Active Directory. So before you start installing Active Directory, you must have some primary idea that what kind of installation and what kind of Active Directory is activity we have to perform during installation time. So before we start Active Directory installation, we can have some basic idea that Active Directory networks are organized using 4 types of division or container structure. The first one is the forest. So the name is also just like a forest. If you think of forest, then what happens? In a forest there are number of trees. In a real forest there are number of trees. So here also in a computer network we can create a forest. So this is the big forest. Inside a forest we can create number of domains. Domains are one kind of tree in a forest. So before you install, you can create a forest in a Active Directory, you can create a domain in a Active Directory, you can also create organizational units in an Active Directory, or you can create a site. That we have one site, for example saurashtrauniversity.edu. Now in that we can create another sub site, that is external.saurashtrauniversity.edu. that external is for external students, isn't it? So this way we can have 4 types of construction container structure for Active Directory. Now what do you need to install Active Directory, isn't it? So before I already said that before installing a server we need to have some planning. Here also before installing Active Directory we have to plan, because without planning if you go starting installation then you have to wait. So first here is a quick list of what you must have. The first is an administrator's username and password. In a server 2003, if you don't have administrator's username and password, you are nothing, and you are not allowed to do any activities. For that you require username and password. Normal user cannot make the administration. So here we require administrator's username and password. Next one is network interface card of your server. If you are installing server 2003 and you do not have network interface card, means a network socket there we are connecting, then server cannot be, we cannot put the server on a network. So that is also a required. Excuse me. Another one is a properly configured TCP IP. I said earlier that during server installation time